pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So now I officially call to order the Heritage Lake Property Owners Association annual meeting for 2026. And we'll start today with the roll call of functionaries with our official roll call. And I will begin with, from left to right here, Nina Stebbins is the secretary.
Present.
AJ Stafford, treasurer.
Present.
Rick Miller, the vice president.
Present.
Linda McFerrin.
Present.
And we have Yvonne Culpepper.
Present.
Mike Colarusso.
Present.
And Rick Stevens is absent today, and so is Jeff Blades. And then my name is Alyssa Borshak, and I'm the president, and I'm here. Now, our first official duty on our list today would be to record the previous minutes from the 2025 annual meeting. So if I have a motion to accept and record those minutes.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? And those minutes are recorded. So we'll start today with the reports of the officers. And first on the list is the president's report, so I will begin. So I essentially want to say Happy New Year, Happy 2026, although we're here in February, to everyone here at Heritage Lake. In keeping with the previous president's tradition, I'll continue with the theme for this year, and I think our 2026 theme should be the future. Back in 1971, I don't think anyone would have imagined what this community would one day become. From a quiet weekend getaway to a vibrant community with thousands of homes, countless year-end residents, and many part-time property owners who contribute to our shared spirit. Heritage Lake has experienced tremendous growth and change, sometimes welcomed, sometimes challenging, but always transformative. Change can be hard and it can be intimidating, but it's not our enemy. It is inevitable. And in our case, change has given us remarkable community filled with activities, connection, and joy. Rick Miller provided to us an eye-opening AI analysis of Heritage Lake that I'm gonna give you some highlights from. As compared to other lake communities nationwide, it states that Heritage Lake has emerged as one of the largest, most active, and best organized lake communities in Indiana and the nation. This is due in part to a strong and well-organized POA, a perfect mix of residents, location, a culture of community, consistent property values and growth, and affordability. This report indicates that we stand out due to our effective government and rules, our maintained infrastructure, and most importantly to me, high community engagement. We have activity year-round, dozens of clubs and groups, regular community events, and a strong volunteer culture. We should be proud. And in continuing that, the great things we have accomplished this year will assure that we have a safe, family-friendly, and vibrant community to call home for decades. So our 2025 accomplishments that I'd like to point out. In reflection, 2025 was an amazing year and we accomplished remarkable things. First of all, the POA finally received news it has been waiting for in the arduous task of modifying the restrictive covenants to allow for a more effective voting procedure. This originated from the board led by Rick Huddleston, then Charlie Beard, and on to Chris Schaefer and Jim Johnson, and finally renewed by Paul Forbes. I was thankful to finally be able to steer this to the finish line along with all the remarkable board members we have here. Now we have a court-ordered modification in the restrictive covenants that removes the arduous voting process that prohibited the community from making any impactful change. We also have upgraded infrastructure across the community, including the kitchen and storage addition at Soms and the activity center bathroom remodel, as well as other things like the boardwalk and many of the other small things that Ken and his team have done throughout the community. Now, in 2026 and beyond, we have some exciting things coming up. That includes investigating and seeing if it's feasible to put a wet walking path around the lake. Also, we have a dedicated special sheriff's deputy that I'll talk about more later, and a continued modernization of payment and voting systems, to name a few. I think it's important that I recognize and give thank you to so many people throughout the community. And I'd like to begin with thank yous to a lot of individuals who have contributed to our great year. First is the lake security staff. I'd like to thank all the security personnel for keeping our boaters safe. And unlike many lake communities, we have not had any serious injury accidents in recent years, which is a testament to their diligence. I'd also like to thank the Heritage Lake Concert Series. Heartfelt thank you to all of the extraordinary people who organized those events, including Carol Bockelman, Rochelle Hardcourt, Lisa Hancock, and all other volunteers. Your hard work brings unforgettable community events to life. Then I'd like to say a special thank you to Dwayne Kelly and the Siltation Committee, and along with now Chris Schubert, who has stepped into those big shoes, and he's done a fantastic job so far this year. We appreciate your willingness to serve. And then I'd also like to thank Rick at the Heritage Lake Highlights. I know we've changed a lot of positions there, but he's remained steadfast in continuing to bring that to the community. I'd like to thank the Campground Committee with Linda McFerrin, Brian and Jody Lauscher, Christian Gillette, and all the volunteers who keep our campground safe, clean, and full of life, from the Pacers watch parties to the lively concerts under the pavilion. Long-term planning. I think this is such an important committee, and we have so many new people that have been willing to join, and I think that they are really envisioning the future of Heritage Lake. Since our covenants are now updated to improve the voting process, this committee will be crucial in vetting and developing future community initiatives. Moving forward, this is going to be our most important and influential committee. The Government Committee, with again Rick Olson, once again the one-man band with support from Ken Roselle and Benny. Their efforts have forged a strong partnership again with the Putnam County Commissioners, leading to continued road improvements when the county funds allow and better snow removal that we continue to see. I'd like to thank all the members from the Lake Committee. That again is an extremely important committee, including Mary Petruzzi, Kent Hoops, and the Muhlenbein family, along with others. Their efforts enrich everything that makes our lake unique and fun, from feast ski and fun, merchandise, safety, fish stocking, and more. If you want to join an active and fulfilling committee, that's the one. HELNAC. This is a community that really, I think, empowers our spirit. I'd like to thank Donna McGinley, Chastity, Heather, and Matt. They're all positive, highly dedicated volunteers who bring us the boat poker run, garage sales, Easter egg hunt, welcome aboard event, and so much more. Not to forget, next is the Election Committee. Again, I think that this is another excellent committee that you can volunteer for if you don't have a lot of time. The Election Committee might be for you. Thank you to all of those volunteers. They've spent a lot of time, and we have a lot of volunteers that have been there for many, many years. So again, thank you. And then the Cleanup Committee. And for those who all love order and cleanliness, thank you to Sarah Lochner, Jeff Blades, and all the volunteers who have helped with that committee throughout our neighborhood. Now, we have the A&E Committee. If you're looking for a meaningful, highly impactful volunteer role, consider the A&E Committee. Thank you to Joe Minetta, April Land, Jake Mawson, Sharon Peoples, Larry Goen, Jim Mulcare, and Board Liaison Linda. They meet twice a month to review every construction proposal: homes, docks, renovations, gazebos, decks, fences, and more. Nothing in Heritage Lake is built without their improvement or their approval, and the committee truly shapes our future. POA staff, I'd like to thank April Land and Brittany Hendershot. Thank you for your continued service and dedication to the community. Your knowledgeable voice on the other end of the call and your friendly and professional interactions in the office are much appreciated. Also, thank you to the continued excellence in daily operations by the marina, pool staff, and our dedicated maintenance crew. Your work behind the scenes does not go unnoticed. Without each and every one of you, you would not have the wonderful amenities and beautiful community we enjoy today. The POA management team, to Ken Roselle and Benny Roughton, a huge thank you for all you do. Seen and unseen every single day. You are both dedicated, selfless, and committed to this community. We see it and we appreciate it. There are many volunteers that I've not mentioned or may have forgotten. Each and every one of you makes our lake what it is. Without our volunteers, we would be nothing. I renew Paul Forbes' 2025 call of action to volunteer. Get out, join a meeting, attend a committee, volunteer at an event. It will better your life and those around you. Also, thank you to the 2025 board, Rick Miller, Nina Stevens, Yvonne Culpepper, Rick Stevens, AJ Stafford, Linda McFerrin, Mike Colarusso, and Jeff Blades. Every one of you have contributed to what this lake is here today. This would have been Rick Stevens' last meeting, so even though he's not here, I'll say to the camera, from the entire board, we extend a huge thank you. Your involvement, insight, and calming voice have brought reason to many a difficult conversation. And also a congratulations and good luck to our oncoming new board member, Carol Melander. Welcome. We look forward to working with you. She's in here somewhere. Okay. So before I end, I sort of skimmed over someone important. And no, I didn't forget him. I was just making him wait. Ken Roselle, our property manager. I'm not quite sure where to begin, Ken. So since 2012, you've been an integral part of this lake. Although your title is property manager, I think it is more aptly identified as Lake Dad. Cars stuck in the snow, call Ken. Loud boom, call Ken. Boat going the wrong way, call Ken. Deer stuck on the ice, call Ken. Rogue raccoon, call Ken. Any time of day or night, he would answer the call, although sometimes reluctantly, I'm sure. So many of the things we enjoy here at the lake, the thanks is all owed to Ken. The pool project, the new marina, Psalms, the floating docks, the new marina docks, the marina parking lot, repaving the clubhouse area, renovating the activity center, adding new outdoor restrooms at the activity center, the large outdoor shelter at the clubhouse point, the new walkway and dock at the Hawkeye Pavilion, the current campground renovations, the new activity center deck, the new Psalms kitchen addition, resurfacing the pickleball courts, and countless other projects. They would not have been completed without Ken's dedication. Not to mention Ken's other daily activities that he has to complete sight unseen, including everything in the office, rules enforcement, helping with the covenant changes, and working with the community government. He's involved in every aspect. What we have achieved and enjoy would not have been possible without Ken's dedication and hard work. So much of what he does is done quietly and behind the scenes, unless it's spooning a deer with Jeff Brooks. That was wide out in the open. We would not be who we are and enjoy the things we do without the solid infrastructure and financial planning that Ken has provided to us. I certainly know that the board could not have done the important work it has done without Ken behind the scenes. Judy, we're thankful to you too. I'm sure many calls from community members have disrupted family dinners and vacations. But just think, without you being so understanding of such interruptions. We wouldn't have photographic proof that Jeff Brooks and Ken like to snuggle. Benny, you have big shoes to fill, but we have full confidence in your abilities, and we look forward to what you bring in the future. And for those sad to see Ken go, rest assured he's not going far. The POA and the Putnam County Sheriff's Department have teamed up to start a new part-time special deputy position for us here at the lake for Ken. He will be starting... He will be starting that role shortly after his retirement, so heed this warning. You keep those speeds down or Ken will be coming for you. So let's officially give him a round of applause for everything that he's Just so everyone knows, Ken's official retirement party is May 9th from 4 to 8 p.m. and it is
At the activity center.
at the activity center.
Rain or shine.
Rain or shine, everybody come. We're gonna have a great time. Again, thank you, Ken. I don't know where we would be without you, and you've done a great job bringing Benny up, so we're looking forward to having him contribute maybe half of what you did. No, we have full confidence in Benny. He is going to do a fantastic job, and I'll give all credit to Ken for hiring him. So we're very thankful. All right, so now on to reports of the officers. Nina Stebbins, secretary, no report. AJ Stafford, treasurer, do you have a report?
I mean, I can read the 2025 profit and loss, but no.
Sure.
Nothing.
If it, sure.
You want me to come up there or just do it from here?
Either way, you can,
I'll just do it right from here if that's okay. Okay, so, welcome to the annual meeting. So 2025 profit and loss statement. We had it'll be real quick. Total income for last year was $2,023,586 with total expenses of $1,959,861 for a total net income of $63,726. And next year, our budget reflects that, just being pretty much where our actual numbers were this year, so our anticipated expenses and budget. We should have a net income next year of positive $35 if we hit everything right on the nose. So Benny's going to do a great job. He's got $35 of slush money to play with. We kept it tight on him. But other than that, that's all I have for report.
now we have the vice president's report with Rick Miller.
Hi, I just want to take a couple of minutes to share with you where I'm shifting my focus to in the coming year. Email addresses. I don't know if anybody knows how important they are, but they certainly will be. Particularly now that the complaint and the covenant issues are behind us, anticipating that we may have an opportunity to vote more often on more things. We need a method to do reliable electronic voting. And I've reviewed a few systems pending board approval. I have one in mind that is world-class and has many government agencies using it. But among other things, it allows us to use it not just for election of officers, but it could be used for referendum-style voting, where if we want to put one or more things on a ballot for the community to vote on, we can do that. And we could, for example, if we had 3 issues that we wanted you to vote on, each issue could stand on its own merits, get its own votes, yes or no, and be passed independently, excuse me, of the entire referendum. So no more of that all or nothing style voting that you've seen before. So I'm excited about that, but that's coming down the road. One of the things I learned while researching voting systems is that most of them, if not all, depend on using an email address to validate the authorized voters. And the way it works is pretty simple, but the systems that we use send an email invitation to each voter with their own credentials so that they can cast their vote and it's secure. And so with a system like that, the only thing missing are email addresses. And we look in our database right now, we have something like 1,600 email addresses, but that includes every resident. So if we look at primary addresses, which for each lot, now that with the covenant change, each lot still gets one vote. And so with those primary addresses, there's something like 1,150 or so email addresses in our file right now. Just yesterday, I used a software package to validate those email addresses, and something like 600 came back as valid. No big surprise. I kind of expected a lot of rejects. So what it comes down to is before we can implement a reliable electronic voting system for any reason, we need to shore up that database. So I'm asking everyone to keep an eye on your Facebook accounts, on the highlights, emails if you have them, but we'll be starting a drive to collect more valid email addresses with the end goal being that we can use it for electronic voting. So it's important. Think of it as like in Indiana, you need to register to vote. And so in Heritage Lake, you need to have an address which registers you to vote. It's that important. So we'll still have provisions for people that just can't use the internet or can't use email. We'll make provisions for that, but we need it to be the exception, not the rule. So that's all I have for you, but I'm excited about all those things.
Thank you, Rick. Now we move on to the reports of the committees, and we'll start with the A&E committee.
Hello. So last year we had 184 permit approvals, 48 houses, 7 additions, 2 attached garage, 7 detached garages, 41 non-waterfront fences, 5 waterfront fences, 3 permanent covered boat lifts, 7 movable lifts, 18 docks, 21 decks, boat slip canopy 1, roof extension 6, 4 porches, 7 gazebos, 2 pergolas, 3 outdoor kitchens, 1 walkway, and 1 pool.
All right. Thank you. Now we can move on to the campground committee.
I want to start saying how excited we are about the 2026 camping season. We'll start the year off tomorrow with our March 1st our selection committee. Currently, we have 18 available spots. After the selection committee, we are looking at 5 available slots. I'd like to thank our committee from the campground, Brian Lotcher, Kristen Gillette, and Jody Lotcher. Their dedication, commitment, and shows that makes our campground committee very strong. What I'd like to do is take a minute to reflect on 2025 season. If you haven't been to the campground, you should go down there and just look at our sign. Prior to last year's season, you could kind of drive by and not really notice there was a campground there. We now have a sign that's 4 foot by 7 foot for the Campers Village. This sign was designed by Jagged Edge Design and Laser Engraving. They donated their time to etch it out. So it's a beautiful piece of property for our community. Also, I would like to thank Ricky Smith. He got our season started off with the Pacer games. We had many pitch-ins. Rick Stevens, who's not here, but he was our chef. He did a steak sandwich cooking for us. which started the season off and it made it really fun. We also were able to dedicate the shelter to Dell and Tony Johnson. It's now known as the Dell and Tony Johnson Music Center. Dell and Tony, they're the owners of Hoosier Home Furnishings. They sponsor the bands for our campground and provide meals for the campers before each performance. Their continued support truly means a lot to us, and we look forward to next year. Also, one of our highlights is the Halloween party for the kids. It's an incredible day filled with costume contests, crafts, games, caramel apple bars, donut eating contests, and much more. A huge thank you to Charlie Land. He was our grill master. He kept all the little kids and hot dogs, and a lot of adults as well. There were several people that participated in this day, so I'd like to give a little quick thanks to them. Deborah McCall, Kristen Gillette, Rita Stevens, Carla Musgrove, April Land, and Megan Hamlin. It took a lot of hard work but to make that day special, and it truly showed. And then we actually wrapped our season up with our first annual Friendsgiving, the Campers Friendsgiving. Gerald Root and Ricky Smith cooked the turkeys and hams, and so it was a nice little gathering to the end of the season. But now we're looking ahead to 2026. We did make some rule changes by combining the tribal knowledge rules and the written rules. Our goal is to be consistent and fair to everyone. I'd like to personally thank Benny for working through this process with me last year. It was a learning experience for both of us, and the results were well worth it. So thank you, Benny. And a big thank you to the camp hosts, Megan and Hamlin and Gerald Root. The grounds looked great last year. Taking care of our camp family is not an easy task, but they did it hands down. So thank them very much. But in closing, I know Rick's not here, but a huge shout out to Rick and Rita Stevens. Their support does not go unnoticed. They're great mentors. Truly fortunate to have them part of our campground family, but not just our campground family, our community as well. And with that being said, I'm looking forward to an amazing year, and we'll see what 2026 brings us. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we have the Lake Committee. Sorry, I skipped you.
Good afternoon. I'm Kent Hoops. I'm the chairperson for the Lake Committee, and I want to thank everyone for coming. And I also want to immediately say that we will pay for the shelter or the activity center for the 4 to 8 party for Ken, and then we will also pay for the 8 to midnight post party. The Lake Committee, I've been involved with the Lake Committee for over 30 years, but the Lake Committee actually started when the lake was originated. So as we continue this, I want to thank the POA Board of Directors. I want to thank you as POA members for your support and our efforts in 2025, and I'll try to highlight some of those for you. With your funds and your participation for us for our events, we've been able to list some of the following. The first and foremost we feel is the lake. Everyone's here for the lake. We don't call it Heritage Pond, we call it Heritage Lake. And with that, we have made a conscious effort to make sure that we have taken care of any invasive species that we can. So for those of you that know the history of the lake, we've had some shad, we've had some snails, but the Lake Committee continues on an annual basis to attempt to prevent those items from continuing to grow. We do that through fish stocking and water quality surveys, and we're seeing some good results, and we're continuing those stocking efforts here in the spring. We missed the fall because of the drawdown, but we will be making those efforts again in the spring. The water quality survey is on the website from previous years. We're anticipating another water quality survey this year in 2026. So we will see the opportunity to see if our efforts are truly getting done the job that we want to have for your all's benefit. The stocking efforts include striped bass, red ear. We've done a little bit of everything, perch, F1s. But please understand the rules are written that these are catch and release only. We don't want you to try to take those out of the lake because we're seeing the benefits of what we're putting in. So the sport fishing aspect of that is simply a byproduct of what we're providing into the lake. So please adhere to the lake rules. We're the group that provides lake merchandise at the marina. Those are reviewed annually. Thank you to our committee for doing those. And you can see new styles. You'll see them coming here. We do 100% of that revenue from those items goes directly straight back to the lake. So please take a look at our new and improved items when the marina opens up. Our committee has used funds from 2025. One for the fish stocking's been allotted. We assisted with a Kubota tractor that was purchased. We assisted with funds related to a lake security boat replacement. We've purchased an additional 10 lake buoys, bringing our total lake buoys, for those of you who appreciate the buoys out there, we have purchased over 190 as a committee. I don't know where they went, but we don't have 190 out there, I can tell you that. So we've also purchased, with the help of the Land family, we've purchased, I think, 12 triaxles or 9 triaxles of sand for the local beaches to enhance those. And we've also added new bumpers. Those bumpers are at all the common properties, and you'll see them now on the concert series on the new deck or the new dock area. We assist and recommend with our aquatic weed control contract for the fishery. We work with them to make sure that we don't impact the fish habitats for the spawn in the spring, to make sure we're not disrupting any egg beds that are placed. We assist with our local maintenance crew to assist with the boat. I know last year we've had a couple times where Ken has called and asked for a favor, and we get the boats back on the water pretty quickly. So thanks to Ken and thanks to our group, we maintain the ability to have that lake security as a presence and a deterrent out there every weekend. Our committee was instrumental and continue to work with the POA recreational users as the boating experience for the required tests. A lot of you may be new to the test. The test is required annually. It's not a one and done. So every year there may be new questions, or every year rules may be implemented by the POA Board of Directors to change things for your safety. So please take a look at the new rule book and make sure you take that. We do have, I believe still again this year, we'll have the test available at the marina. We'll have a test available here at the POA office as well. It's all electronic, so all you need is your POA card. We want to thank that support for our conduit to the POA is Mike. Mike has been with us for last year. So thank you, Mike, for your assistance with that. And I also want to thank Ken Roselle for his assistance with the working with us on the rules. Benny, got to wait, buddy. Keep in mind, these rules are for your safety. So it's not uncommon for those of you that may be repeat offenders out there that we have we've amped this up a little bit. You will be escorted off the lake. You will be removed from the lake. You will lose privileges from the lake. So the rules are in place for everyone's safety. Some of them are inconvenience. Some of them are just safety items. So please take a minute to review those and make sure we're doing the right thing. The committee has provided Learn to Ski days for kids and adults, for many children who have never had the opportunity or exposed to water sports get the opportunity to go out on a boat. Many have never even been on a boat, so it's a bit of a fun time for them. We are very involved with the Bass Club. They actually are under our umbrella. The Bass Club has been very important to the lake of recent years. On an annual basis, they've contributed over $1,000 of their fees that go right back to us for fish stocking. So when you see the bass, I know there's been some conversations about the bass and how much bass. We have it on good faith that this is one of the best bass fishing lakes in the state. So let's keep it that way. But our Bass Club is helping us make sure that happens. The Bass Club has also had their tournaments set for 2026, and they will include the youth tournaments again, which is always fun to see kids get out there on those boats. And they've given out several hundred fishing poles for the kids, as well as awards. And we've also kind of amped it up a little bit in recent years with a weigh-in that kind of gets everybody excited and gets them going. So we have also dedicated funds for next year. And those funds in our last meeting will basically be close to $20,000 that will be given back to the lake. With that in mind, the lake has, in recent years, we have given, well, since we started raising funds 3 decades ago, we have given over $130,000 back to the lake, including items that you see out there every day, the swimming docks, the floating docks, the marina docks. We've always been ones to make it so that you all have a better place to live, and we all make this place a better place to boat and recreate. I want to thank Mary Petruzzi for her outstanding efforts in the 2025 Fee Ski and Fun event, which was mentioned earlier. That is our single-day fundraiser that has been going on for years and years and years. It's our one-and-done effort to try to gain as much money as we can for our events to give back to the lake. So, Mary, thank you for that. We've already been approached by several local vendors who want this to be part of their grassroots marketing campaign for 2026, and we're excited to have them come on board. I want to thank, I want to thank the POA Board of Directors, Ken Roselle, Benny, as we move forward. I also want to thank all of our members. And those members, we've had so many over the years, and I'm going to leave some out, but my wife Beverly, Tyler Land, Charlie and April Land, Phil McKinley, who's in charge of our clean water. He's the one that comes in with all the recommendations for how to fertilize, what to do, looking at upstream areas that come into the lake. So we're making sure we're taking care of the lake the best we can with what we have available to us. Dawn and Bob, Deb McConnell, Tom Novak, Mary Petruzzi, Rick Miller, Todd Taylor, Kent and Ellen Stephen, Darcy Schaefer, Bill Anderson, Lisa Stafford, Jim and Debbie Muhlenbein. And I know I'm leaving some out, but we just have a great group of people, and we'd love to have more of you come. Your opinions and your comments are welcome from day one. We want to hear what we can do to make your lives and your livelihood out here better. So thank you for your time. That's all I have from the POA Lake Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Election Committee?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mary Petruzzi, and I'm the chairperson for the Heritage Lake Election Board. I'd like to thank you for spending part of your afternoon with us. Excuse me, I know there's errands to run and possibly naps to be being sacrificed, so we truly appreciate it. Normally at our annual meeting, we hold an election for 3 vacancies on the board. However, this year we had 3 candidates for 3 vacant seats, so we didn't have to have an election this year. So in other words, no ballots, no campaigning, and no recounts. So I'm thankful for those 3 candidates. If you missed it earlier, for those of you who are watching online, as Rick had mentioned, that we are working to implement the electronic voting for this year. So a valid email is an email address is necessary. So if you're not really sure if the POA office has the most valid email, please contact them to give that information to them. We'd like to take a moment to thank Rick Stevens, who stepped down from the HOA board. Rick gave his time, energy, and patience to serve this community, and we are very grateful for his dedication and service. We are also happy to welcome back Alyssa Borchak and Jeff Blades, who have agreed to serve another term on the HOA board. Their experience and continued commitment are truly appreciated, and we're thankful they're willing to keep at it. And finally, we're excited to welcome Carolyn Molander as the newest member of the HOA board. We're grateful she stepped forward and look forward to the contributions she'll bring to the board. On behalf of the election board, thank you to all who volunteered to serve, and thank you to everyone here today for being engaged in our Heritage Lake community.
Long-Term Planning Committee?
Good afternoon. Wait, I might need these. So the Heritage Lake Long-Term Planning Committee, this is the first year that we've kind of made some tweaks to it. We've had that committee for a while, but we really ramped it up this year. I wanted to read our mission statement. It's the mission of the Long-Term Planning Committee to accept, research, and develop concepts, ideas, and needs of the Heritage Lake property owners, and to advance into the future by promoting realistic ideas for safety, practicality, and beautification. Our group meets, normally meets, not every month, but on the third Wednesday of every month at 7 o'clock upstairs in the boardroom there. We got a great group of people. There's people coming on, and we've lost a couple, but it's a great group, and we can always use more. So if you want to be a part of the new things going on, just let us know, and just like to thank all of those committee members, because I think we got some things, we're going to get some things moving here. So this year, it's been more of a kind of an organizing year, like I said. We haven't really sunk our teeth into any initiatives yet, but we just, with our last meeting, started to do that. And it's exciting to get moving on some things besides mission statements and, all that stuff. So the things we did do, we did develop a mission statement and objectives. We have an ad hoc committee that's looking at the strategic plan that was put together in 2014 was our last strategic plan. We had hired an outside consultant to do that, and I think that was a great idea at the time. We thought that at this time, it's about a $30,000 or $40,000 venture. So we thought, well, let's look at what we've got and work with that, and that group is working on that. So, and it kind of goes into the survey. We're going to put a survey together. So we really don't want to wrap that strategic plan up till we get that survey done, like they did before. There was a lot of good survey questions in 2014 or 13 or whenever it started. So because of that survey, like Rick was saying, these emails, and Mary, these emails are very important. So if you haven't heard it yet, please get with the office with your email address, because we want to get as much input as we can into what people are really, wanting to see around here. So besides that, we generated a list of potential projects. There was an informal question that was asked, what people wanted to see, and we're working with that. We've discussed ways to improve communication. We have a couple of websites, and we think that we could improve on that. We've talked about that a little bit, and so I think we're going to move in a good direction with that as well. And like I said, we've also talked about the emails. Remember that. Like I said, we just started talking about some initiatives, and it's very preliminary. We don't have any information about that yet. The one thing we talked about that's been talked about ever since I've been here for 18 years is sheds. The possibility of that, it's an actual possibility now. Trails, I think, and one of the things that was in a safety thing done by the county was the lack of walkability at Heritage Lake. And I don't think there's anybody that disagrees with that. We have a few options now, so we're going to try to highlight some of those, what we have, improve on some of that, and hopefully increase that walkability some too. Because we think there's things besides the trail adjacent to Heritage Drive, which would be awesome, but that is a very costly venture and a long-term project. But as any long-term project goes, you've got to start somewhere. So the other thing we talked about at our last meeting was it was brought up that the average age of folks at Heritage Lake is, believe it or not, 34 years old. You look around the room here and you wouldn't think that, would you? So with the one thing we haven't talked about any specifics yet, but is we feel like we need to get some more, possibly some youth-oriented initiatives going, and get our youth busy, and more opportunities for them to for things to do. And personally, I don't even really know what there is right now, so my youth are grandkids that don't live here, so, but anyway, that's another thing that we're gonna talk about. So, like I said, that's all for my report on the long-term planning committee. For the government committee, I'll read that statement as well. It is the mission of the government committee to improve the image of the Heritage Lake community by fostering mutually beneficial relationship with county, state, and federal officials. This is accomplished by means of attendance primarily at the Putnam County Commissioner meetings, but also the county council meetings, zoning, and the Indiana legislative update meetings that held during session. And also interacting with our elected officials outside of those meetings. We don't have regular meetings like the other committees do, because like I said, like Alyssa said, it's a small group. But I would like to thank Ken and Benny. They attend a lot of the commissioner meetings as well, and Ken knows everybody in this county, especially the important ones, so appreciate that, guys, and I'm sure Benny's learning a lot as well, but Ken is awesome working with us. So last year, I mean, I'll be honest, one of the biggest things we look at is the roads. You've all driven on our roads. They've done some good things. There's a lot to do, as you well know, especially if you live on a road that ends in a cul-de-sac. And it's difficult. I understand the county's position. There's only so much money, and they've got, I want to say, 600 and some miles of roads to work on. So we're going to keep pushing that, and especially the worst ones. Last year they did do the horseshoe. They did a chip and seal on that on the southeast side of the lake. An overlay starting at 800 East, the Canaan Church Road, going down towards Coatesville, and they stopped at the railroad tracks. Unfortunately, they should have gone a little bit further because that's pretty rough down there as well. And then they did an asphalt overlay. I'm not even familiar with this area, but I guess it's west of the campground. So they worked on that as well. In September, the acting highway director, Clint Maddox, presented a potential list of roadway improvements, and it's more or less a wish list because he admitted there's no way they can fund all of it. There's just a couple on that list that are around here. I drove a lot of the roads, and I don't know how they came up with this list because there's roads out there that were on the list that are in a lot better shape than some of our roads are. Even ones that were on this, I don't know if you all knew, there was a 7-year plan that was put together, and they completed, I think, all but about 3 years of that plan. And they're not on the cul-de-sac roads, but they're other ones that need repair as well. So, we're going to have to look into possibly other things, partnering with the county possibly to get some things done, similar to what we're doing with Ken and the security, because it's about the only way that we're gonna get things moving. So, and I think they'd be willing to do that too. They understand it's a problem, and so hopefully we can get that going. This year they're planning on making improvements to the road just north of the 3-way stop by the campground, going north around the corner, and to Crown Point Drive where they stopped. Was it last year maybe, or no, it was the year before I think, where they did that part. So that's helped. We did talk to them the other day about the possibility of trying to widen that curve that's right there north of the campground, because that thing is, I don't know if 2 campers or boats met there. One of them would have to back up, I'm sure. And then they're also going to do County Road 850. It's from 550 north to Rutledge Drive on the east side of the lake. So, but there was a couple others that were in the area, but they didn't make the list. So there is some other money that was dedicated from the called the Eat It Fund, and I think they were looking at dedicating about another $300,000 to roadways in the area. So, so hopefully, I've already put a bug in Clint's ear about maybe getting some of that. We also met with the sheriff, Ken and Benny, and I met with the sheriff about our concerns about the speed, primarily on Heritage Drive. As you all know, it's, if you ever walk on there, I did it just this morning. You're putting your life on the line. Sometimes it seems like I try to stay off of it. But the one thing that we came out of it was, they have these they call them counters, but they actually, record the speed of cars. And so that's one thing. Have you heard anything about that, Ken? No. Okay. Hopefully we can, that'll help, but that in conjunction with what Ken's gonna do would be great. They're still talking about an annex to not replace the courthouse, but as another government center. That's kind of, if you read the paper, that's kind of going back and forth. And they also looking at improvements to a recently purchased building for the Board of Health. So they've got that going as well. So we're gonna continue to push for these improvements, looking at other, trying to keep people in the know about what's going on at the county level primarily. It hasn't been mentioned yet, but I just wanted everybody to be sure to keep our military guys and the leaders in your thoughts and prayers over by Iran. So that's quite a thing going on over there. So anyway, thank you. That's all I have.
Cleanup committee?
Hi, I'm Nina Stebbins. I am your board secretary. I'm also the liaison for the cleanup committee. And I'm going to read the cleanup committee report on behalf of Sarah Lackner, who is the chairperson for the cleanup committee. She was unable to be here today. She wants you to know that the cleanup committee is comprised of Heritage Lake residents who volunteer their time, their talents, and their efforts to serve the Heritage Lake POA. We encourage Heritage Lake property owners and residents to maintain all properties in a safe, clean, and environmentally friendly manner. We proudly sponsor the annual trash pickup in the spring, which is held in April. They do advertising and coordination for the spring and fall garage sales. They do a tox drop and a clean sweep in May, a shred event that is held in August, and they end their year with the fall clean sweep in September. They also supply a bin for can recycling at the Heritage Lake Maintenance Building. Now, if you're looking at the maintenance building, that receptacle is located to the left side of the building. And the committee wants to thank you to Ken and Benny for taking on the big task of taking the cans to the recycling center. It's really gross. And it's been a huge help to the committee. Sarah wants to thank the amazing volunteers who've been the backbone of the committee. They don't have very many on their committee, but when it's time to help, those volunteers are more than willing to literally roll up their sleeves and get dirty and give their absolute all for the events. Sarah will say it at every event that they have the hardest workers who show up and give their Saturday to help. She also extends another big thank you to Ken for getting trustees from the Putnam County Sheriff's Department office, and they're a truly big help to our committee. We're also thankful that they can come out and help. They help us for the trash pickup as well as our spring and fall clean sweep. She wants to thank Charlie Land for once again being a wonderful asset to the committee by helping at the May and September events, collecting scrap metal with his dump truck and semi-trailer. That's helped the committee in not having to rent an extra dumpster from Jack's Trash and use all of the dumpsters for trash. Sarah will be posting to the Facebook pages our upcoming events. The first event will be the Trash Pickup Day, which will be held in April. And lastly, she wants to thank the residents of Heritage Lake for coming to the events, donating to the committee. She says, if you ever want to volunteer, please just show up and they will gladly welcome your presence and we'll have donuts to show our appreciation. And that again is thanks from Chairperson Sarah Lackner. Now, on behalf of the HOA Board of Directors, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to Sarah for continually standing up as the chairperson of the cleanup committee, and then to all the dedicated volunteers who show up to ensure that the events are successful. On a personal note, I want to extend a couple pleas to the community. First, I want to point out that the cleanup committee unequivocally impacts and benefits every single resident here at the lake. Whether you use the lake or not, if you live in this community, you benefit from the cleanup committee, either through a coordinated yard sale in the spring and the fall, which is timed right before the clean sweep. That way, the weekend after the yard sales, whatever's left over that cannot be donated goes to the clean sweep. That helps from people putting trash in their yard or keeping trash and debris in their garage, which then they would be putting their mower outside. Either way, it helps our neighborhood maintain cleanliness and efficiency. It also reduces the traffic. If we didn't have coordinated yard sales, there could potentially be yard sales every weekend during the nice seasons. And as busy as it gets in the yard sales, the last thing we would want is for it to be like that every weekend. So first, the cleanup committee requires volunteers. That's it. It is completely run by volunteers. And if you as a member, if you are appreciative of the community yard sales, if you appreciate or utilize the Tox Drop, the shred events, and the roadside cleanup events, then you must demonstrate that appreciation by volunteering. Also keep in mind that that committee needs young members of the community. A lot of the work that they do is very physical. And again, as Ken pointed out, our median age in the community does not match the median age of the volunteers in this community. So I encourage all the parents and grandparents to get your kids out there, maybe set the example for them, bring them with you, let them have a donut, and then put them to work. Let's see, for those that are here at the meeting, there's a sign-up sheet in the back of the room. If you're not here at the meeting, you can contact myself, the office, Sarah, or any board member in order to get on the list to be a volunteer. My second plea is that the roadside trash can most often be attributed to loose trash that's placed in your cans for pickup. So we ask that all community members ensure that all trash is bagged prior to it being placed in your outside receptacle in preparation for pickup. Third, the cleanup committee has provided a receptacle, as mentioned, for the aluminum can recycling. This is for aluminum beverage cans and nothing else, not aluminum foil. And please make sure that the cans are emptied and bagged before they're deposited in the receptacle. If possible, it also helps if the cans be crushed. That is a really great volunteer opportunity. If you have a young person in your family who needs a humbling experience, I would gander to say that sorting through those cans and cleaning those cans is certainly a humbling experience. So I encourage you to bring them out for that. So that sums up our report. We look forward to an active and a very clean 2026. Thank you for your time.
Clean water.
Good afternoon. I'm Phil McKinley, 330 Patriots Landing. Before I start, I wanted to add one thing to Rick's comments earlier about why this neighborhood is so successful. And I think it's partly, he was too humble to say, because of the board. And not only have we had excellent board members, but in comparison to other communities we've investigated, there's so much more transparency here. All open meetings, meetings that are streamed online, and the open forums that some lake committees just can't believe that we actually allow people to participate in such meetings every month. So thanks to the previous boards for establishing those procedures and the current board for continuing them. It's part of what makes this community so strong. Kent and the Lake Committee, we are a subcommittee of the Lake Committee, so he alluded briefly to some of the things that we do. This year we continue 3 primary initiatives. One are articles and the highlights concerning best practices for lake protection. We will have some coming up probably starting this next month. They are a little bit repetitious if you've been reading them for years, hopefully. But they've been encouraged to continue to post such items because of the number of new representatives and members we have in the community. A second initiative is what we call windshield surveys, where there are a couple of us who drive the upstream roads near the watershed that feeds Heritage Lake, particularly looking for any kind of changes that might be posted for land use and so forth. And then the third one is the testing of water quality that, along with Ken, we have done for many years, so many are going to inherit something, where we collect water samples from various locations and times around the lake to test for E. coli bacteria, which is the primary test that's used for what's considered beach safety and water safety. Again, this year, the results were excellent. There are a number of standards out there from the EPA and the Indiana Department of Health, but even compared to the most stringent standard that's out there from the EPA, our average levels were less than 5% of what would cause concern, and that's for full body contact with water, including use by infants. And if anybody knows how much water the infant might drink, that's pretty encouraging. The other thing I'd like to point out is that as we all know, the lake was lowered this year, and there are a couple of things in particular that we would kind of like to get any feedback on that you might have about impact of lowering the lake. And one of them is that biologists say that many snails tend to burrow into the ground in mud near shore in the fall and hope that they don't go below 32 degrees in water during the winter. Well, this year, at least in some areas of the lake, particularly coves, a lot of that land was uncovered, and according to my thermometer, we hit 10 below one morning. So what I'm interested in is any feedback that you might be able to see, or anybody out there that might see this streaming, on whether or not you think that did or did not have any effect on the snail population. So if you have any kind of observations along that line, either posting them online on a chatter group or calling the office and just giving a heads up that yes, it made a difference, no, it did make a difference, that would be helpful. And the other possible effect of lowering the lake is some people believe that lowering the lake may also tend to help curtail weed growth. So particularly in areas where the bottom may have been uncovered, any feedback that you could give on, again, whether or not that did or did not make a difference would be appreciated. Just in terms of the possibility of lowering the lake in the future. Obviously, there are a lot of pros and cons of doing that, but again, informing decisions with evidence is the best way to make such decisions. So we'd appreciate any such feedback. Thank you.
Siltation?
Chris Schubert, 266 Mill Springs. Basically, the 2025 report for the Siltation Committee was really kind of establishing our funds, so we have work to do in 2026. At the end of 2025, we contracted with Apex Unmanned Aerial Surveying, and they got us photos, drone photography to help us map our areas going forward in 2026. As we get that work done, and if anybody wants those links, they should be fairly freely available. If not, see me after this meeting. That is pretty much it. Big shoes to fill from, continuing to fill from Dwayne Kelly. So that's it.
Thank you. Any committees I missed? I think we got them all.
Elna?
Oh, well, we'll do that in announcements. So now we are on to the announcements, and first we'll go with Helmet. Thank you.
My name's Donna McGinley, 238 Mill Springs, and I am a member of HELNAC, Heritage Lake Neighborhood Activities Committee. Just before I read the report, just want you to know that HELNAC is a nonprofit organization organized under the 501c7 of the Internal Revenue Service. So we're a legitimate nonprofit organization. We file tax returns, we report income and expenses, and it's a real business. HELNAC members share sincere gratitude to our community, including all the volunteers, POA board members, Ken Roselle, Benny Rutan, the POA office, They see me coming and they run. In addition to the Marina staff, HELNAC events are successful as a direct result of the combined efforts of our community. Membership and community volunteers continued engagement in 2025. Committee members include Chastity Catney, Heather Ludlow, Matt Ludlow, Valeria Baylor, Crystal Pryor, Ryan Moore, Laura Todd Nance, Raquel Lorian, Nancy Burcham, and me. As a result of HELNAC activities, donations, and poker run outcomes, HELNAC was able to fund 2025 committee infrastructure requirements, taxes, insurance, gaming licenses, etc., recurring and new events, community concerts, and donations to important community causes. In addition, HELNAC continued the routine practice of reflecting on experiences, discussing lessons learned, receiving community feedback, and implementing improvements for future events. HELNAC remains committed to providing community-friendly and safe events. Our 2025 events included the welcome aboard for all new residents at the lake, Easter egg hunt, the spring-fall garage food sale, the spring and fall wine fest events, the boat poker run, which included a band and food trucks, and it's just a marvelous day. The trunk or treat, my favorite pictures with Santa Claus, and the neighborhood meet and greet. In 2025, we gave to the Putnam County Museum, the Heritage Lake Charlie Beard Memorial Scholarship Fund, the Humane Society of Putnam County, Fill the Need, Beyond Homeless, and Isaiah House. HELNAC typically meets the first Wednesday of each month via either MS Teams, online, and/or at the clubhouse. Meeting dates and times are published via the HELNAC Facebook page. Community members are welcome to join or volunteer at any level of engagement. Donations are accepted and appreciated to continue to provide free and low-cost events for our community. We invite you to join us at our next meeting to support activities that spark your interest. However, before you decide to come to a meeting, please contact me or one of the other members. We often do our meetings online. We have a lot of very busy people on the committee, and it's really hard for them to even niche out the 7 o'clock meeting time for our meetings. So sometimes we just cancel the conference room here and just hold them online. So call before you come to a meeting, but you're always welcome to come and offer ideas. If you have ideas for events that you'd like to hear, just let us know. We're open to just about anything you'd like to have us plan for you. Thank you.
Now we have the Floyd Township Fire Department. Ken is our stand-in.
Yeah. I was notified this morning that Jeff Brooks had an emergency work-related issue to take care of, so I just wanted to clear the air. It's not because we were spooning partners. I'll just read here what he had on a personnel level. Floyd Township Fire Rescue is a volunteer fire department serving Floyd Township with fire and medical rescue service, as well as a non-emergency assistance. We also provide mutual aid to surrounding communities. We are staffed by 17 members from 18 to 78 years of age. Our members receive a fuel clothing reimbursement between $300 and $600 annually, and a $10 per run on their on top of that annual fee for their uniforms. There's 13 other guys here. I'm not going to take time to read, but there's 4 in particular I'd really like to point out in particular. Obviously, the Fire Chief Jeff Brooks, Assistant Chief Brack Hildebrand, Captain Ed Sprinkles, and Lieutenant Bob Starkowski. Those 4 guys are probably on about every one of the runs. I'm gonna guess Bob is the one that attends about every run that there is, and I believe, is the 78-year-old gentleman. So with that being said, their run results for 2025 is 369 total dispatch runs for the year. Now that's at least one a day, and that's quite a bit for a volunteer organization. 22 fire-related, 14 structure fires, 3 car fires, 5 outside fires, 213 rescue and medical-related calls, 35 heart-related with 5 cardiac arrests, 5 stroke, 16 motor vehicle accidents with 7 injuries. Now, I've been involved with a lot of fire agencies within Putnam County, and I will tell you that we have got one of the nicest volunteer fire buildings in this county. It's a very nice building, it's very well ran, and this community needs to be proud of our fire district. One thing that he wanted me to make sure I let everybody know, if you happen to see blue flashing lights approaching, please give them room or let them by. We are only asking for permission, not demanding it. However, we are en route to an emergency and time is of the essence. A house fire can double in size in every 30 to 60 seconds. Donations are used for everyday operations, including supplies needed to be an effective Red Cross Relief Center. They accept cash, check, and credit cards. We have a business Venmo account which can be accessed by scanning the barcode. We are a 501c3 and will provide receipts for monetary or service-provided donations. Accomplishments: serving our community. They purchased a new engine this year. 100% of the run response when dispatched. Lots of training, both video and hands-on. Upcoming events: our radios are 19 years old and no longer serviceable by the manufacturer. We are working on a plan with the county and other public safety departments to replace radios throughout the county. We are in process of seeking out a provider for a boat lift and a canopy so we can leave our boat 12 on the water. Pressurized water system is in the works to provide better and more reliable water supplies for the fires. We are looking for revenue opportunities for these projects wherever they can be found. New members: we are seeking new recruits for the fire department. So if you are cool with running into a burning building, getting in icy water while someone's trying to pull you under, saving a life or someone's belongings, come see me or any other firefighter. Thanks to Mary Nice for her help around the station. Special thanks to the families of our first responders. They hold meals, lose their homework, helper, are awakened in the night, and endure other interruptions. Thank you to the Fire District Board of Directors, Mike Hildebrand, Ken Roselle, and Greg Ernest for their leadership and vision. Lastly, thanks to the community for your support and letting us into your lives. Always call 911 if you feel you have an emergency. Respectfully, Jeff Brooks, Floyd Township Fire Rescue Chief. That's it.
Any announcements from the Conservancy District? Or we have HLCS, anything from you? Perfect. Did you say that? You? Okay.
Hi, Jenny Lewis, HLCS Online and the Highlights newsletter. In 2025, I took over for Rick Miller as president, and he is the chairman of HLCS Online and the Highlights newsletter. It was a very good year, and I'd like to thank our sponsors, our advertisers, and all of our readers, both online and the newsletter that we print out. I took over in August. Rick has stayed on to help with the transition, and that's going to probably be for a very long time because there's a lot to go through. So my main priority, based off what I heard on chatter, was to update the calendar to provide more information on the different activities that were going on, not just for HLCS, but also the POA and all the committees. So make it more of a one-stop location where you could go find information. That was very helpful, I think, because a lot of people in the community did reach out to me, so I was able to make some contacts and get some more information out there. So that's an ongoing project that I'm working on, as well as a business directory, because you see it a lot on Chatter. People are looking for different types of businesses and recommendations. So that's been a main focus and a priority. Going into this year, we are working on, both Rick and I did AI recommendations for the website, because like I said, there's a lot of information on there. It's very hard to navigate and get it organized. So we're going to pare that down and make it easier to navigate and find the information that you need. So we're working on that in the future, as well as some of the other different suggestions that came up. But if there's anything that you guys can think of that you would like to see, or more information that you would like to have put on there, please reach out to me or to Rick Miller. Part of the highlights, both online and the printed ones, we have one person that was working on the highlights for us. She has moved, so we are looking for a volunteer who is interested in helping out with the highlights. It's a monthly thing that we put out, obviously, that would require someone that has information or experience using Publisher, who's very creative and artistic and can, I lost my words, sorry. Get the information needed from our different sponsors, advertisers, and community members to put into the highlights and get that organized. We are also losing our treasurer. She retired. So if anybody's interested in that, we need somebody with the financial background information and tax information that can help us with that. We have had a few people reach out with interest, but don't have anyone nailed down yet. So if anybody out there is interested, please reach out to me. Along with all the other committee members and the different things going on in the community, I cannot be everywhere at once, so I need volunteers from the different committees that are willing to reach out and talk to me, whether it's through text, messaging, or phone call, or just seeing me out and about. So that's all I have for HLCS Online and the newsletter. Thank you.
We have some announcements about voting and blood drive from Mary Ann Novak.
Mary Ann Novak, 25 Mill Springs. I just wanted to point out, if you have a highlights, please look at page 3. The blood drive is advertised. We put on a blood drive through Red Cross twice a year, and our next one is coming up May the 28th, right here where you're sitting, from 1 to 6 o'clock, and we really need your blood. There's so much going on with all the natural disasters and everything throughout the United States and the world. So you know your blood is going to be used for a good cause. So please come out for that. And then the other thing is, turn to page 9, and especially for new people who are just moved into our community, we have an election coming up, as you know, in May. There's a primary, and if you have moved from another place, you need to re-register here, otherwise you're going to have to go back to your other house to vote. So all the information is in here of what you need to do. It's very easy. All you have to do is you can either go online, you can go to the courthouse in Greencastle or any DMV and register. So please come out and vote. It's going to be a good election. We've got candidates on both sides, and I know some of the candidates, so please come out. Thank you.
Thank you. I have the Charlie Beard Foundation on this list. Great.
Good afternoon, I'm Tom Novak. Just a show of hands, does anybody in the room have any high school students? One person. I believe there must be a lot more online. The Heritage Lake Charlie Beard Memorial Scholarship is an opportunity for our youths. We started the scholarship in 2008 to reward graduating Heritage Lake High School students who volunteer here at the lake and in Putnam County. There's an opportunity. We offered this year 3 $1,500 scholarships to those volunteer students. Recipients must be high school seniors. Recipients must have graduated before the age of 20 by April 30th of the award year. They must graduate in the top 50% of their high school class. Recipients must permanently live with a Heritage Lake POA voting member or associate member who must be in good standing with the Heritage Lake POA at scholarship award time. Recipients must be accepted at an accredited community college, university, trade school, or other alternate education. So it's not only for kids going to college, it's also for that other important group, trade school. It's easy to earn credit. If you pick up on your way out today's report, you'll see a list of activities. I'll just name a few. All we're looking for is those high school seniors to volunteer 1 or 2 hours of their work. We have the Easter egg hunt coming up in March. Oh, it's passed. No, it's coming up. We have the garage sale in April and May. We have Clean Sweep, Toxaway Day in May. We have Feast and Ski and Fun in July. We have the Shred event. That's a way for you to get rid of all your important documents that you want to hide, keep. We have Clean Sweep again in September along with Community Garage Sale. And lastly, just to name a few, we have Trunk and Treat. All your students need to do is either contact myself, Marianne, and we'll set you up with the person who is responsible for those events. 1 or 2 hours. The requirements, if you would, in case you can't pick them up here, I have them that I have handouts for, but if you don't have, or if you're not here, you could see them on the Heritage Lake website, which is HLPOA.us under documents. The documents are listed. They give you examples of different services, and they also give you the form that you'll need to have with you when you volunteer. You'll identify what you volunteered for, how many hours, and one of the individuals at the event will sign it for you. This is all done with the cooperation of the Putnam County Community Foundation. All the students need to do is connect on their website, which happens to be pcfoundation.org. They just go to the website, go to scholarships, identify the Charlie Beard, and register yourself. When you're all done with your volunteer, you'll just upload that to the Putnam County Community Foundation. Any questions? Thank you.
Any other club or group? All right, now we are on to the presentation of awards.
I promise we're almost done. All right. The Heritage Lake Board of Directors are some of the community's finest who have chose to be involved while making important decisions for this community. Each board member has a 3-year term. Officers are elected by the fellow board members. This year we have 3 that have fulfilled their 3-year term. 2 are continuing with additional 3-year term. So I personally would like to thank Jeff Blades and Alyssa Borchak for doing this to yourselves again. So at least we can do is show our appreciation, and that will give each one of you a nice award for your service to the community. The first 2, Rick Stevens is not here and Jeff Blades is on vacation. The first one would be Rick Stevens. I'll just show you theirs. They all have the same thing. Rick Stevens I would describe him as a softly spoken gentleman. But when he had something to say, you knew he had thought through it, and it would grab your attention. So this is their award, very heavy, for Rick Stevens. Jeff Blades next. This gentleman offers many ideas to the board, experiences, and he's definitely not one to be afraid to speak up. So Jeff Blades will get the same award. Finally, this woman and her professional experience have made her a perfect fit as our board president. Her experience, knowledge, and her ability to keep meetings in check definitely earns her this award. This award.
Thank you.
All right, I'll wrap this up here. First off, I'd like to thank my wife for showing up. She chose this meeting over our grandkids. So, anyway, you know, holding this position is almost like there's a lot of responsibilities that come with it, more than what a lot of people would realize. Sometimes you almost feel like you're walking in the shoes of a town mayor. So I'm sure that I've brought a lot of things home at night, and that, like Alyssa said, has chewed up our evenings, and and so anyway, thanks Judy for being here. I'm going to try to suck it up and get through this. A year and a half ago, Paul Forbes and I began a search for my replacement for when I retire. We interviewed many candidates, and Benny Routon continued to be the top choice that was chosen. That was the one that we offered the position to. One request that I had was to allow me to spend 1 to 2 years training the right person. It was important to me for a seamless transition. You may ask why so long to train somebody. Well, I didn't get much training. I don't want to say thrown to the wolves, but you just kind of learned on your own. But there's so many things that just show up once a year, twice a year. And that's hard to train somebody for a month and then them still figure it out. So it was important to me for this community to have a seamless transition for this position. I'd like to thank the board members that was present at that time to allow this request to be carried through. I was not sure what it would be like or feel like training my own replacement. But I can say with certain that we made the right choice in hiring Benny. I never thought in a million years I would have so much enjoyment training him, but hopefully we've got a friendship that'll last a while. It is my promise to you that Benny Routon will do this community a great service for years to come. As much passion as I feel I give this community, when I leave, it is comforting to know that my passion will carry on with the same vision and the same standards. So, with that being said, enough of Benny. It's been an honor to have been your lake manager for the past 12 years. I'm very proud of the accomplishments that have been made over those years. I am beyond grateful and thankful for your friendship and your support that has been given to me. Even if we have disagreed on things, I have never held a grudge, and I hope you don't either. As I stated that I was proud of our accomplishments. I could not have done it without building a great staff. The office, this is the center where it all starts. April Land and Brittany Hendershot, thank you for converting the office to a friendly place to visit with friendly, smiling faces. We did not always have that kind of office, and that was my first initiative when I began. Some of the accomplishments that you can look around and see throughout this community have been accomplished by a very solid maintenance team. The maintenance guys led by Sean Flanagan, with John, Mav, Ricky, Paul, they can truly do about anything. With what these men has accomplished is another example, a solid team that has been built. Also, one cannot forget the marina staff, Rose Ogden, along with the pool that is led by Kim Curran, both ladies that give you a great experience when you visit either one of those locations. It cannot go without mentioning how blessed I have been with the 12 years and nothing short of a class act bunch of board members. This position I hold reports to the board president, and I've had some of the absolute best. Rick Huddleston, Chris Schaefer. I'm going to stop here. Chris, can you stand up and turn around and show the back of that shirt?
It's gonna need to be modified in a few months.
It-
I'm leaving it to the lake committee to take care of that.
It will only get you so far. And Paul Fords, which I have spent a lot of time with, and the late Charlie Beard, I cannot forget him, along with the current board president, Alyssa Borchak. Alyssa, you have been a fantastic board president. You always have been available by phone to call and discuss topics, whether it's been morning, day, or night. Alyssa has allowed me to do my job with the respect that knowing that she was just a phone call away if I needed her. I hope this board allows you to continue to stick around in this role for this upcoming year. You have truly been a true professional board president. All of these individuals have been some of the best bosses that I've had in my 45-year career. And I thank you for such a great working relationship we have had. All of you have become great friends that I will treasure. My plan and hope for retiring was to have a very smooth transition when leaving this position. While I hope to stay close or stay involved in some way, if you know me, I am not someone who will always be doing something. Setting down is not in my DNA. So with that said, in about 61 days, I plan to turn the ship of Heritage Lake over to Benny on April 30th, as that will be my last day. There have been some really fantastic people that I have met along this journey that have become great friends. While there are many, the one that rises to the top has been Kent Hoops. Every year in this position, he has been like the lake chair. In his busy personal life, he has always had time for me. I can only hope we all continue to stay in touch. It has been with great pride, a privilege, and it truly has been an honor being your lake manager. For this opportunity that I was given, I thank you very much.
We saw Ken cry today. I didn't expect that. All right, now we are on to our last item on the agenda before adjournment, and that's the open forum. If there's anyone who is here who'd like to bring anything up, the floor is yours. All right, and with that, I think we're moving on to adjournment. If I have a motion to adjourn? Second. All in favor? All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming.